The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some independent Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the Optavia income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
We are going to be sharing some more stories. We're going to be sharing some more tips on really kind of taking your health to the next level. I like to say it's time to level up with my clients, and to just remind them that they really are in an amazing space in their life where they can take what they're learning. You can take what you are learning and you can start to think about others and think about how other people can benefit from all of this information. Because I saw in the chat, this is great information. Oh my goodness, this is so awesome. I totally needed this right now. What if you thought about who else in your life could benefit from having this type of support, this type of community, this type of plan that just works so well? So we want to talk a little bit about that. What does it mean to pay it forward? And I am Amber Smithson, and I am a certified Optavia coach. And my husband Jared and I have been coaching for over a decade now. We're coming up on our 11-year anniversary in just a few months. And we just really love this opportunity to be able to just make our life better, to teach our children these principles of healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And we like to have lots of fun with our kids. We like to play volleyball. We like to work out with our kids and teach them about eating healthy. But I think the mindset piece for me has been such a huge blessing. Quick story, my oldest son, he just left on a church service mission to Argentina. He just left almost 3 weeks ago. And so he's writing home and he sends his email and he said, Mom, one of the other kids who's in our group, he's really struggling, and he's missing home and he's just like struggling with things, and I was trying to help him to talk about his feelings and he wouldn't talk. He's like, it was so crazy. I'm just so used to people who talk about their feelings and their emotions and work through it, and he's just like climbing up on me. And I'm like, okay, bud, you're 18 years old, you don't know everything, but it is funny just to see how being in the community of Optavia, and he grew up with that since he was 8 years old, just the healthy mindset that we get with this community is huge. I mean, between the life book and the habits of health and these trainings, and it's just amazing to me just how much, just personally, my life has been blessed by coaching. Okay, so Optavia, how did it get started? I love the story of Optavia. That Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson is one of our co-founders, and he was one of the top critical care physicians in the country. And he was the best. He was at the top of his game. And he felt like he was doing a great job kind of saving people from, just it's critical care. Like he would step in. I remember Lori told me one time that the nurses who all worked with him, they said, I'm going to tattoo somewhere on my body, if in trouble, take to Wayne Scott Anderson. Because he was that good. They wanted him to definitely be in charge if their life was in the balance. But he felt like he wasn't necessarily helping people create that long-term optimal health and well-being. He wanted more. And he was a doctor with a big idea, and he was excited. And he partnered with our parent company and said, okay, you guys have a great plan to help people to lose that weight, but you're missing some components. You're missing the support piece. You're missing the community. You're missing that education for the long term so that people can really create that long-term optimal health and well-being. And that is how Optavia was born. And I love that. I mean, we've been honored by Forbes magazine, one of America's most trustworthy companies. We're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This company is really amazing. And one thing that I love is our slogan, lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. We're not expecting people to change everything at once and to, we give people grace. We say, okay, where are you at? Let's break it down to baby steps and let's help you create step by step new things in your life. And the great thing about coaching is it fills a huge need that we have in our country right now. There is a health epidemic. So here's some statistics for you. In 2015 to 2016, the prevalence of obesity was almost 40% in adults and almost 19% in youth. And the estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the US, 147 billion. That's billion with a B. It's crazy. Medical costs for people who have obesity was $1,400 higher than those of normal weight. I mean, that's a huge cost for the everyday American. Really, us as Optavia coaches, we have this gift in our hands that we can help people. We can help our country to get really better in medical costs, in just like morale, and is just a huge opportunity to help people. So I want to bring on Brittany. And Brittany, would you be willing to kind of go over the 4 components of our system after you kind of share a little bit about your story first? Because I want you to share some of the nitty gritty, not just of your health, share about your health a little, but maybe about how coaching has impacted your life.
I am so just beyond grateful that Optavia found its way into my life and that I grabbed onto all of it, because it's changed everything for us. Like I look at those pictures and yes, I lost 25 pounds. And yes, in my 40s, I accomplished ultra health in terms of the BMI scale. And yes, at 40, I climbed Pikes Peak here in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado, and have been able to do some of those things I would have never thought possible. And just last summer, we took our kids down to the sand dunes, and I mean, they were screaming at me to slow down, and that is the way it should be. And it was amazing. And I don't normally like to tell people what should be, but you guys, we are all capable of so much. And when we start by focusing on our physical health, so much falls into place. So you can see the physical health that transformed for me, which was incredible because I do have some pretty significant chronic illnesses, lupus, blood clotting disorder, polycystic ovaries, but whatever, those are not holding me back. I'm charging to the top of the mountain these days. And so that's the physical health. But like Amber said, the health and the mindset, I mean, just being on this Zoom with all of you amazing people who have raised your hand and said, I desire more. I want to be around like-minded people. That's what you're jumping into. You're jumping into people who the status quo is not interesting. I want to blow past those numbers that Amber just shared. I don't want to be a part of that. I really want to capture my best life. And one of the cool things, it's trickled to our kids too. I have a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a almost 2-year-old. And yes, I'm 42, so I'm an old mom. But I was talking to my daughter this afternoon about fear. And one of the things I've learned in this incredible community, there's no such thing as fear. Or failure, actually, is what I was trying to say. There's no such thing as failure. It's only feedback. And so now if something scares me, I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway, because if I fail, I'm going to learn and I'm going to get better. And that's the type of thing that really go in the long haul in this journey really gives you, because you learn so much about yourself. And when you dive into all 4 components that we'll circle back to in just a second, your mind will be blown at what's possible, because you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to open this whole new door to things you would have never thought possible. So that's the health in my mindset. Let me tell you just a little bit about what's happened just with my job every day. I used to be a school counselor, and don't get me wrong, I went to school to be an elementary teacher, and then I went to school to get a master's degree so that I could be a school counselor. And I loved that. But I use that in a different way now. I use that with my clients, and I am so incredibly grateful, because now health was a real scary thing for me. And now, as my story has changed for the trajectory of my health, I can empower my skills of loving people, which, I mean, really, most of our careers, we love people, right? Everyone who has a career is basically loving people. And now I get to do it within my own home, and I get to do it with the hours that I set, and I'm a more present mom. And today I hopped off and went and grabbed my girl and took her to an appointment. And when my husband, he's come home too. And he got to go grab our son and take him to get his hair cut today in the middle of the afternoon. And so who would have thought that a desire to lose some pounds and shrink my waist size would have really given me hope for the future of my health, despite chronic illnesses, would have blown my mind in terms of the faith I have in my long-term ability to be strong right here and to stay the course with health as my fundamental choice. And it has changed everything for our family in terms of being more present parents, having some more in terms of finances as we bless other people with this incredible journey. So that's the whole offering. And so what does that look like? So we can see right here on the screen, first and foremost, our first component is that Optavia coach. And you guys, Amber, Sandra, or I, none of us were experts when we got started. I know some of you were thinking, I don't know enough. Well, then dive in and become a coach, because then you're really going to learn it. So your Optavia coach is there. There's someone who cares. There's someone who is just a little more knowledgeable than you. They're going to give you that one-on-one support. They're going to help you to learn health as a lifestyle choice. They're going to guide you toward these amazing healthy habits. They're going to be asking you, where are you in your books? What's going on? And they're going to provide you encouragement and support, and it'll be awesome. So that's our first component. The second part is this thing I just held up. It's this habit, Dr. Anderson's Transformational Habits of Health System. It's the book that you can see there on the screen that I held up. It's the amazing app, and it's the amazing life book. These are the steps to long-term success. This is what's going to help you really put in place those small, consistent changes that make the difference. When you're going through these books, you're learning so much about yourself. All of that stuff I shared with you about what was going off in my mind, like, wow, this is really me. It's because I dove into this component. It took me a while. I was a little hard-headed because I was certain I was only on a diet. But when you dive into this, you guys, it's not a diet. It is lifelong transformation, just like Amber said, one healthy habit at a time. The third component is the amazing community. And I applaud all of you who are on here tonight, because you have raised your hand and said, I want to be in the community. So we might not can all see each other. We might not all be in the same room, but we are all here together. And you can tell it's a powerful thing to be amongst Optavians, even just watching the chat. So it's just so amazing that Optavia brings us all together, and it's through calls just like tonight. Sometimes there's going to be local events in your area, but then you've also got these calls recorded in the podcast app, and you've got our incredible nutrition support team all there to back you up. And then fourth is your fueling plan. And these are just so amazing. They teach you so much about the long term. This is where you're connecting with your coach up front, and they're helping you determine the best plan for you. With our plans, you're going to eat 6 times per day, every 2 to 3 hours, drink at least 64 ounces of water. You're going to be eating nutrient-dense, carbohydrate-controlled fuelings, which is a perfect mix of protein and carbs. And they're scientifically designed, so you can't go wrong. And they're really designed to provide you the right nutrition every stage of the journey. And we just did an amazing call. A lot of you were on that call. Or if you're listening to this or watching this, check out the transition call that we did earlier tonight, because it's not just getting you to your healthy weight. It's helping you move on to the next phase at every stage of your journey. So those are our 4 components, and thank goodness for them. So you guys, next up, I am thrilled to introduce you to Sandra Van Winkle. Sandra has become a dear friend of mine. I did not know her very well, other than just a few, hellos here and there. But because she and her incredible husband raised their hand, we've been connected, and I consider her a BFF. I love having lots of BFFs. But Sandra is just an incredible health coach, mom, wife, all kinds of amazing things. She has an incredible story. And Sandra, thank you for sharing your story with us tonight. We can't wait to hear about your transformation.
Well, I am incredibly excited and honored to be able to share tonight. So my transformation really started on a ski slope. So I was at a place where my family absolutely loves to travel and create memories. That's a core value of ours. And I remember coming down a ski slope, and my knees were absolutely killing me. My body was tense, and I was not enjoying myself at all. And I loved that I was there with my family, but what I didn't love is that I wasn't showing up as the mama that I wanted to be and enjoying the incredible opportunity I had with my family. And, as a pre-K-12 principal that traveled several hours a day to work, I was on the road a lot. And I remember, fast forward just a couple of months later, as the principal, you run the graduation, and in a small town, your picture is plastered on the front page of the newspaper. And I remember seeing that picture and thinking, something has got to change. As a little girl that lost both of her parents to obesity-related diseases very, very early in my life, I knew I was on a trajectory that needed to change really quickly. My husband was at a place where he wasn't 40 yet, and he was on blood pressure meds and a CPAP machine, and stress was high. I was super blessed and super thankful for so many things that I had, but I was running low on energy and running on a lot of caffeine, we'll just say that. And so I got to a place where I told my husband, I reached out and I said, something needs to change. And he had reconnected with Brittany, and we are so thankful. Him and Brittany graduated from high school together. And we reached out and we decided to get started with Optavia, and we dove full in. All four components, we dove full in, and I am so excited that I did, because we lost 121 pounds together in about 5.5 months. But the reality is, what we gain blows that out of the water, because what we gained was energy, and what we gained was confidence, and what we gained was tools and knowledge and a community to support us to lifelong health. And so I thought, I have got to help people with this. Like, I have to pay this forward. Initially, that wasn't my thought process, but we dove in pretty quickly and started helping some people. And what I have to say is that the physical transformation is awesome. I love that I personally lost 56 pounds and that I have energy, and my husband's health is so much different. I love that. And I love that 2.5 years ago when I started, I couldn't run a lap, and I just ran 10 miles the other day. I love that. But so much more than that, what I love is the way my mind has changed and how I'm a different person. And even I switched careers. It's been incredible. It's allowed me to be a much more present mom. I shifted from an education career as a principal into a field of an Optavia health coach. And I love being an Optavia coach and helping people really to move forward in their health. I have become a higher version of myself because I've dove into all of the components, and that allows me to pour out at a different level. And I am incredibly thankful for that. And then it's given me the flexibility to work from home. I choose to. And when people tell me what has changed most in your transformation, I have to tell you, it's my relationships, because now I get to be the mom that I always desired to be. I get to be the wife. I will tell you, my marriage, very transparently, is a completely different marriage than it was 2.5 years ago, because it started with my physical health, but then it became my mind getting very clear and becoming a part of this community and paying it forward and helping people to become the best versions of themselves. So the transformation has been incredible. I have been so thankful. I love that I don't have to drive 2 hours anymore to work. And I love that I get to spend incredible, precious time that never comes back with my children. But I really feel blessed that I get to pay that forward because it's for everybody and it's possible. And the transformation goes way, way beyond the scale. So thank you, Brittany, for inviting me to share my story. But thank you for saying yes and offering this amazing gift to me.
That's awesome, Sandra. Oh my goodness. And you look so much younger. Like you can tell that your health, you're just radiating. So
Thank you.
okay, so what we really offer in Optavia is what we call the trilogy of optimal health, because there's so many different aspects. There's a lot of people out there who will tell you that you need to eat less and exercise more, and that's good advice. But just like we talked about on the last call, we talked about controlling your insulin pump and keeping your blood sugars level. There's more to it than just calories in, calories out. And there's more to optimal health than just a healthy body. There's healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy finances, and they all work together. If you think about a time in your life when one of these things was out of whack, chances are that it affected something else. That we are a whole person. We are focused on holistic health. So everything affects each other. You don't live in a vacuum. And it's just so amazing to me that as you are helping other people, as you are paying it forward, all these different areas are being affected. And the number one thing that I've enjoyed over the last decade from becoming an Optavia coach is it reinforces my decision to be healthy. I lost my weight so long ago. You guys, people don't even remember when I was overweight. They don't even, a lot of people who know me now, they didn't even know me then. And I love that as a coach, I am constantly in those waters. I'm constantly in that mindset of health. How can I improve? What can I do to get better? What goals do I have? And it really does make a difference for other people. You heard Sandra's story in how if Brittany had not connected with her husband, that they went to school together, and who knows where Sandra would be today in her healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances progression. And it really does make a difference for people. It made a difference for me that my mom started Optavia 11 years ago and that she shared it with my husband, Jared, and myself. I love that it's fun. You guys, it's so fun to be a coach. It's fun to check in on people. It's fun to have something that you know is going to help them. It's going to be win-win. It's win for that client because they're going to be able to move forward in their health, and it's a win for us because we have that extra accountability. And by the way, the company pays us, which is always a good thing. I think if you are bringing value into the marketplace, then you should be compensated for that value. And so there's the currency of goodwill. You feel really good when someone calls you and says, oh my goodness, Amber, I rode bikes with my grandson and I haven't ridden a bike in 20 years. Like, you can't buy that. And then there's actually financial, compensation. They put real money into your bank account, which is always a good thing. And leaving a legacy, this is huge. And I shared at the beginning a little bit about my son and my kids and how they're learning these things. I honestly feel like my kids, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I feel like most likely they will not struggle with their weight as they move into adulthood. I mean, we all have our agency and make our own choices, and no one's forcing them to not eat a cookie or whatever. But I feel like just this knowledge, the mindset, and the actual education for nutrition that we get in our habits of health system is amazing. It's a huge benefit of coaching, that you're just getting that at a higher level than you would as a client. And that's just the truth. So I love our growth model as well. You can start out as a coach and just coach clients. If you say, you know what, it would be amazing to me if I just coached 5 clients, and the company will pay you to do that, and that's amazing. And that's called a senior coach. And our business is built on senior coaches, on people who say, I'm going to help 5 people. I'm going to reach out to my community and my friends and my family and see who wants to link arms with me. Or you can move on to a business coach where you're helping other coaches to set up their business, and they can help 5 people or more. And you can be a part of that and see how cool it is. Just like Brittany helped Sandra, who became a coach, you can see how cool that those ripples go, and that people are helped when you don't even know them necessarily. And the next level is business leader. And that's just you saying, I want to make a huge impact, and who wants to come along with me? And I love that anytime anyone makes a single dollar in this company, that means people are getting healthy. And that's just an awesome thing in my eyes. So how does it work for coaches? Well, I love that we are a relational model focused on optimal well-being. We're not about just, pushing products or this and that. We have whole health programs that work, that have all the components so that people can be successful. I love that we're self-employed and we're independent. So I don't have a boss, but then there's the other part of that where you don't have a boss. You have to do this yourself. You have to get out of bed and say, okay, who am I going to help? And so there's no guarantees in this business, but you are in charge of your future. I had a friend, and her husband got laid off, and they were very stressed about it. And I had, a lot of sympathy for that. But part of me said, okay, no one's going to lay me off. I'm in charge. And I love that. I love being just in charge of my future. And no matter if you're looking for something that is just part-time extra income for your family, Christmas is coming up, or if you are looking to have an exit strategy from your full-time job or a retirement type opportunity, Optavia can fill that for you in whatever that you decide you want. I love that it's low startup. It's $199 to become a coach. That's not a secret. Both my husband and myself started businesses in the past and before Optavia, and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars later, and we weren't even in the green and had all kinds of operating costs and paying employees and inventory. I love that we don't have that headache. Been there, done that, no thank you. And I love that it's flexible. I can say, hey kids, for spring break, let's pick up and go to Hawaii. And if I want to check in with some clients on the beach, guess what? I can. I literally do this. And my clients say, oh, you're in Hawaii, just have fun. Like, don't call me. And I say, no, I like this. Like, how great that I can take an hour and, bang out a bunch of client calls, check in with all y'all, and you're doing great. And then I can go jump in the ocean. Like, how fun is that? And so no matter what you want to make of it, then there's complete training and support for you. And what that looks like is we have a comprehensive training system. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's proven. So you can go off and you can try to do and make up all kinds of stuff, or you could do what we've proven. I mean, I've been doing this almost 11 years, and guess what? There was not a lot of systems when I started. So I just am thankful for what we have today, because it makes it a whole lot easier to be successful and really help more people, because that's our mission. I love that you can learn as you earn. You have a mentor coach who says, let's link arms. I'm going to help you do a health assessment. I'm going to help you with your first client or 2 or 3 or 5. I'm going to make sure that you know how to do this so you can help more people. And the great thing is you work at your own pace. You can set your goal, and we are going to lay out the path and say, this is how it's been proven to do that. Okay, you want to do that in a year, or you want to do that in 5 years? Great, let's go. And there's also amazing training events. We just came off of our Transformational Business Summit for our leaders in the company, and our training is second to none. I mean, it's amazing what we get for $199 kit. I mean, it just blows my mind, you guys. So what I would say is really think about it. Think about joining our mission. Help us. Help us to create more health in this world. There are people that will only do this if you are their coach. There are people that you will connect with that I wouldn't, or Brittany wouldn't, or Sandra wouldn't, or your coach wouldn't necessarily be able to connect with that person. But when you step up and say, I'm ready to pay it forward, I'm ready to go to the next level, then you're going to be attracting people to you who want to partner with you. And we need more people because our country is suffering. You heard those statistics earlier. People are suffering. It's not just money from healthcare costs. You guys, these are real people with real lives whose lives would be forever changed. So that's what we want to see. We want more helpers. We want more people with big hearts who can pay it forward. So thank you so much. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Sandra, for joining me tonight on both the Habits of Health and the trilogy, so that people can learn a little bit more about coaching. And hopefully you have a fantastic week, and we will see you next week.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some independent Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the Optavia income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.